Hello, impaired programmers, and welcome back to the channel where we talk about drinking and programming, often at the same time. Today we're talking about different media websites for programmers to visit, whether between meetings, during meetings, or before work. And we're drinking this nice Chianti I picked up at the supermarket. I like this one because you can find it at almost every major supermarket in America, and it comes in 1.5 liter bottles rather than the typical 750 milliliter bottles, so it's twice as much wine. Let's do the taste test. Delicious, full-bodied, refreshing, actually surprisingly refreshing for a red wine. Goes great with a long evening of programming after dinner or a little nip here and there between meetings. But don't tell anybody I said that. All right, let's get into it. Today, I want to tell you about 5 websites that I personally visit every day and what kind of value I get from them. Typically, you don't roll up to your laptop right away and are ready to work immediately. You need to ease yourself into the zone to get ready for a long day of work. And that's when I consume different types of media. The first type of website that I like to visit is a forum type of website. The reason I like forums is because you can see what people are discussing. The problem with seeing what people are discussing is naturally the internet. So take everything you read with a grain of salt. And remember, not everyone has your best interest at heart. Forums you might be familiar with, things like Reddit or Quora. The one I like to check out is Hacker News. You're probably familiar with Hacker News. It's a forum run by Y Combinator, the startup incubator, but it has a lot more than just information about the startups at Y Combinator. Engineers from all over the world can write posts and discuss on posts. It gives you a good sense of what people are discussing at the time, and sometimes there's really well thought out comments on some of the posts. Sometimes there's the internet. Take everything you read with a grain of salt. But that's why I like browsing through Hacker News and seeing what's going on first thing in the morning. The second type of website I like to visit is something where you can have your finger on the pulse and stay in the know. New, upcoming startups, software, tech. For this, I typically like to visit Product Hunt. On Product Hunt, you can see people launching their startups or apps in real time and upvote and downvote certain ideas. You can see what's popular this week, this month, or even just today. I like scrolling through Product Hunt and seeing what people are launching, especially now with the AI boom. How are people using AI in their products? Sometimes I'll even see a product and go, damn, I wish I thought of that. That is a great use case. That's why I like scrolling through Product Hunt to see what people are doing in real time and what startups are being launched as we speak. The third type of website that I recommend checking out is some kind of tech news. So far, on Hacker News and Product Hunt, we've seen people uploading their own posts. What are journalists saying? For this, I like to go to TechCrunch. TechCrunch feels like an online magazine where you have tech journalists writing about what is going on today. There's alternatives, like Wired is a popular one. Forbes has great articles on tech. There's really no wrong option here. It just depends what kind of coverage you like. TechCrunch is the one I typically visit the most. The fourth type of website I recommend visiting, something to do with culture. Now, what do I mean by that? What movies are in theaters? What are celebrities talking about? Something to keep you in touch with the country at large. You don't want to get sucked down too much of a tech rabbit hole because you don't want to be disconnected from the rest of the country. For this, I like to visit Gizmodo, and specifically for culture, the IO9 section. Gizmodo has good sections about space as well as new gadgets, and IO9 is something that I started reading in high school, specifically for their morning spoilers coverage, which is just a wrap-up of what's going on in Hollywood, movies, Marvel, Star Wars, things like that, and it keeps you updated with what's going on in culture. Alternatives like Cracked or BuzzFeed that some people like, just to keep you in touch with what's going on out there so that when you go out to bars at night, you can talk with non-programmers about non-programmer things. The fifth one I'd say is some kind of community. Community is very similar to forum, but usually more curated. I like the community indiehackers.com. They have their own website, they have their own podcast, they have job postings, and it's for a very specific type of community of people that like building, bootstrapping, and starting startups at smaller scales, not raising crazy VC sums like you might see in TechCrunch. So I like to see what's going on in those communities that are building smaller projects, more individual projects, and what they have to say. So there you have it, folks. 5 websites I visit every day. Let me know in the comments what you thought about my list and if you have a list of your own. And if you liked my list, I actually publish a weekly newsletter where I take what I believe is the top article from each site, give it a summary, and write my take on it, along with other ruminations about the goings-on in the tech world and the world at large. If you think that's something you might be interested in, the link is in the description. That's all I've got for today. Happy drinking, happy coding.